of Nellie Jean Gill-Vallance.
Gill-Vallance. Hyphenated.
Yes.
How do you spell valance?
Vallance.
A-N-C-E.
Yeah. Gill-Vallance. And
Okay.
I was the youngest of 5 children. The oldest one was 11 years older than me. That was Bill. And then there was Maury. And then there was sister Dory. And then another brother, Noel. And then I was the youngest.
Okay, so Bill was 11 years older than you?
Yes.
Maury was how much older?
Well, he was about 2 years, I think, younger than... Bill was about 2 years older than Maury, I
Alright, so
think.
to about 9 years older there, roughly?
Yeah, and then Dory was about 6.5 years older than me.
Okay.
And Noel was 4 years older than me.
Okay. And then there was you.
Yep.
What was your date of birth?
The 24th...
What is your date of birth?
24th of October and 1917.
So you were born during the war?
Yes.
During the First World War?
Yes, and I can remember my Uncle Les, he was, I was only about 12 months old, I think, when he came home from the war.
Okay. Do you know where he was? Where he fought?
No, I actually don't know.
That's
I
okay.
don't remember that. But he was my mum's brother, and he was a tramway conductor on the old cable trams.
In the cable tram?
Mm.
So he did that before he left and then he picked it up when he came back?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay. Where were you born?
Well, I was born in Albert Park. I was born in Herbert Place. I think the number was 32. It's like a little porch house, like a little church entrance. And then we moved directly opposite. And
So how long were you at
about
32 Herbert
I
Place for?
suppose I must have been, I'd probably be about 5, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we moved there.
When you moved across the road, you know the number there?
Directly, I'm not sure whether it's 25. And then we moved from there further down to number 13. I remember number 13.
So 13 Herbert Place as well?
Yes, because that was a double-fronted place, you know, and we'd only had the small places, and it had lovely peach trees and fruit trees, and we thought we were just Christmas there. It was lovely.
Okay, so how old roughly when you moved to 13 Herbert?
I suppose I'd be, that other one was Young Street, I would have been about, Young Street is directly we moved from there into Young Street, which was directly behind,
Okay.
and a back little lane off our backyard, and used to go straight into the house where we bought or where we lived after.
Yeah.
And I suppose I must have been about 8.
Okay.
I think I'd be about 8 when we moved into Young Street.
So 8 when you moved into Young Street?
I think they were around about that.
Do you remember the number in Young Street?
No, that's one number.
So it's behind
Country,
13 Herbert
yeah,
anyway?
behind 13. And then we moved up to Ferris Street,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not sure, but I think that might have been 328.
Okay.
Not sure.
So that's a big one?
It's just, I said Bridport, just down from Park Street actually, just between the St Vincent's Gardens there, along the railway line, and Park Street.
Okay.
And then we moved from there to the place next door.
To 326 or 330?
Yeah, 326.
It was 326?
I think.
Yeah.
It's a long while ago.
Yeah.
And well, there I got married there, and I was 19. I turned 20 the day after.
Okay.
That was in the October, and then on the Christmas Eve, The husband, he was buried on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
So only 2 months, you know.
You were only married for 2 months?
We're only married for 2
Wow.
months. Yeah.
What was his name?
Ray McKegan. MC. K-E. I could write E-A-C-H-E-N.
And how did he die?
Well, actually, he was just running around the Albert Park ground, actually. Just he was a bike rider as well as a footballer.
Yeah.
And, you know, we used to go to the old velodrome or whatever it is, you know, and watch the bike.
The bike velodrome.
Yeah. And he just collapsed there and finished up in hospital, and he was dead a couple of days later. They said he had ulcers on the liver.
Wow.
But he just collapsed while he was running around.
So what year was that? That was about?
That was in 1937.
37. All right.
And then I had my 21st birthday while we were in Ferris Street. And we had it at the old, there was a hall down there, I just can't think of the name of the street just at the moment, but I can always remember that, and it was that foggy coming home that the car that we had, my brother had to walk in front of it to get it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
To make sure you didn't run into anything?
Yeah,
so
because it was that foggy.
It was your brother's car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back a little bit. I didn't get your father's name.
My father's name was Leslie William Gill-Vallance.
Leslie.
Leslie William.
And your mother's name?
Lydia, Lydia. Catherine's with a C. Catherine. Veal.
Veal. Do you know how old your father was when you were born?
Well, Mum was, when I was born,
Yeah.
I suppose he'd be in his, around about 36, I would say.
And your mum?
Well, Mum would have been about 31 or thereabouts.
Where did your father originate from?
Well, actually he was born in Richmond.
Do you know his date of birth?
Yes, it was the 20th of April. Now, I'm not sure of the year. I might have it, your mum will probably...
Okay, we can find out later on. And your mum?
Yes, Mum was born in April too. Hers was the 11th of April.
And she was...
She was 5 years younger.
5 years.
That'd be on that birth, on that wedding certificate.
Yep. And where was she born?
Well, she was born at Sale, actually. Well, none of us realised that she was born down there. Her parents happened to be down there at that time, you know, we just don't know.
So where were they normally from?
Because they originated from around Ballarat area, all around the Ballarat, Smythesdale, and there's a couple of other little places there. I've just forgotten their names now.
It's nerve-wracking.
I usually know it, I've heard it.
Yeah, it'll probably come to you.
Yeah.
Grandparents then, so your parents' parents.
Yeah.
Let's start with your father's side and then your mother's side.
Well, Emma, she was Emma Gill, it was her first husband's name.
Yeah.
And then when my dad his father died. She married about when Dad was about 7, I think. She married again, and she married. I can't think of Grandpa's name. Vallance.
Did you say it was Bill before?
Bill was my brother.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't awful. I just can't think of his. What I used to call him.
That's all right. And you were saying, this is just out of interest for me, that he was a policeman.
Yes, he was a
In Port
policeman,
Melbourne.
and he was. I can remember him being stationed at Port Melbourne,
Okay.
and they lived out at Canterbury.
And how did you used to get out there?
Oh, we used to have to catch a tram
From Albert Park?
from Albert Park.
How long did that take?
Oh, I don't know.
You're throwing good questions at me.
Well, yeah. Oh. Well, you'd have to sort of go into the city and then get another tram out. It'd take quite a while, actually. Yeah.
Even.
But the old cable trams, they were lovely. You know, you'd sort of sit on the side, and they were really great. Ring the old bell.
So they weren't enclosed like today's trams?
No, well, they had the two end ones were enclosed, just the same as the others, but the driver used to sit in the middle, and either side of him they had the seats.
Oh, so it was like three
It was all
carriages?
open. It was all open.
Oh, okay.
That was all open.
Yeah.
And the other two ends were enclosed. But the middle carriage, I suppose you'd call it, where the driver of the tram was in the middle, and then we all sat with our backs to him and look out in the street.
And what about your mother's side, your mother's parents?
Well, Mum's father, well, he was a coach builder, and he lived at Smilesdale, and he used to, I suppose you'd call it, have the Cobham Co coaches used to go to. He used to go into Ballarat and take it back to his place, and anything that needed fixing, he'd do that. He was a coach builder, and then it was when they'd come down from Sydney to Melbourne, and then on the return journey, when they came from Melbourne to going back to Sydney, well, he'd take it in and they'd pick it up on its journey.
So that was all out of Smilesdale?
Yeah,
going to Ballarat from there?
Go from Smilesdale to Ballarat, well, not very far.
And what about your mother's mother?
Well, my mother's mother, well, she was actually, she was a Phillips, that was her maiden name. And all I know, she was of Dutch descent. How far back, I don't know, but my niece is sort of going into all that, so hopefully, you know.
Do you know either of their first names?
Grandma Vallance was Lydia. Her name was Lydia too.
Okay.
And Grandpa Veal, oh gosh, it's not awful. So I should know it. I never ever knew him because he was died before I was born, actually. You know.
Yeah.
But that would be on that that certificate anyway.
Yeah, we can sort all
Because
that.
their marriage is there, I think, as a certificate.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that before. All right. Let's go back to when you were younger then.
Yes.
Now we've got that family side of it out of the way. Where did you go to school?
Well, I went to the Middle Park Central School, and that took you right through. You didn't have to leave and go to a high school or anything like that. So that just went through, and that was on the corner of Richardson and Mill Street in Melbourne. They called it the Middle Park State School, but it was really more on the edge of Albert Park, going towards Middleport Park.
So how long did you stay there for? You didn't have to leave
No,
to go to secondary
I just
school?
finished school there when I was 14.
14.
I left when I was 14.
Could you have gone on further?
Well, there might have been another year I could have gone on for.
Yeah.
But that was just all in one. Yeah.
Okay.
So you didn't have to change schools like you do these days and go to high school or whatever.
What memories do you have of going to school?
Oh, well, there's one in particular I remember. We had a choir at the school, and they used to have, which they still have to this day, the South Street competitions, and they're still going. And our choir was in this competition this particular year. I suppose it would be about 11, and I can remember us, we never got home till, well, must have been about 1 o'clock in the morning, and all our parents were around the school waiting for us to get home, you know.
Where had you gone? Where did you go?
We did quite well, actually. Yeah, it was a couple of years like we went, but now I don't know whether it was first or second. We did quite well anyway.
So where did you actually compete then to do?
This is at South Street.
So was that the school?
Yes, no, it wasn't a school. It's just South Street competition where they had this big hall.
Okay.
And people always used to go there, you know. But I saw in the paper the other day that it was still going. Yes.
Well.
Yes, and actually, the judge, one of the judges, or the judge, I think, I didn't know until after, but he was a relative of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
But I didn't know him then.
Did he know?
Oh. No, he didn't. They were the Toodles, and they lived around Footscray area, and I think they were on Dad's side.
Okay.
But that sort of stuck in my mind, remembering that.
Do you remember any friends from school?
Well, there was, I had quite a few friends.
As you would, yes.
But this one in particular, her name was Peggy Saker, and her parents had this mixed business, and that was in Herbert Place. No, Herbert Street. It's in Herbert Place.
Yep.
Herbert Place is off Herbert Street. And when I was in Young Street, we were both going to the same dancing teacher, and in fact I just saw a photo of it the other day. We're both dressed up in our costumes and that in the backyard in Young Street.
Oh, okay.
And then we got to that's right, she got us into the Princess Theatre and the play. We were in the chorus sort of thing of Dick Whittington.
Okay.
So I can remember as we used to catch the train at South Melbourne Station. We go in there, and what we'd do, we'd roll our socks down. I used to roll them. They did them in those days. Roll them, girls, roll them, you know. And we rolled our socks down, and we'd get on the train, and we go. I think it must have been about 14 then, and we'd go for half price on the train.
Why?
Don't know why.
No. So
I don't know.
you went to the Princess Theatre? Was it?
No, it was the Princess Theatre
Yeah,
in
the
the
Princess
city.
Theatre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And-
we used to go from South Melbourne Station.
Yeah. And you were in the chorus?
Yes.
of Dick Whittington.
Yes.
How long did you do that for?
Oh, I can't. Several weeks, I think it was. Yeah.
So did you have to audition or?
Well, this teacher, she arranged it all. She
Okay.
got it all, and so there was Peggy Saker, and I can't think of the teacher's name either. I'm
That's all right.
going blank. And she arranged. She wasn't very old. She was young. I suppose she would only been about 19. And she lived in Port Melbourne, right opposite right on the bay there.
So what do you remember about the Dick Whittington thing?
Oh, I was sort of a bit overwhelmed, I think, at that time. But what I can remember later is we used to, in those days, the picture theatres used to have live people like me and dancers and singers and that. And I can remember the one in Bridport Street, Albert Park, being there, and then at Port Melbourne. There was different cinemas, you know, the Hoyt's cinemas.
So you'd perform
And
before a movie?
we'd perform then, yeah, in between actually. So I don't know how, I can't remember how long, but to me, from what I can remember, it was sort of in between, you know, the pictures. So whether it was
Changing of reels, or
well,
would
I
it be
don't know,
they'd show half the
time.
movie? Yeah.
Probably.
The intermission.
Yeah, because they used to have 2 long movies in
Yeah.
those days,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, not just the one like they have today. And I used to do toe tapping, and they used to have this little pedestal about that high, square, and I used to toe tap on that pedestal, and I was billed as the Girl Wonder.
Girl Wonder?
Yeah. And you know, I really enjoyed that.
Would you get paid for it?
No, I never got paid for anything.
No?
Never got paid for anything. And then we were on at I can remember being on at the Regent Theatre, and that was lovely, and we had to go down this long passageway where all the dressing rooms and that were. And that was really... So every time I go to the Regent Theatre or the Princess Theatre, I sort of look back on those times.
Yeah. So what did you do at the Regent then?
Well, I did toe dancing.
Toe dancing.
Yeah. And I sang.
Okay.
Oh, Ah, Sweet Mystery of Life. I'll never forget it. And I did learn singing, and I had a real high voice, you know, in those days, and because this Ah, Sweet Mystery of Life, you know, you had to sort of go apply for that. And I remember I was that nervous, and I remember thinking, I'm sure I'm singing out of tune, you know, to myself. I felt that embarrassed and that, you know. But anyway,
So
it's great being on there.
The theatre was full?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And another time when I was young, I think I was only about 5, and Mum and Dad put me in this competition, like children's baby competition or whatever, and I was 5. I can still remember sitting in that theatre. It's just up from the Regent Theatre towards Russell Street it was. It's not there now. I don't think so. And I can remember sitting there with Mum and Dad in the you know, the audience. But I don't know, I think I might have got about 12 or something like that.
Okay. So was anyone else in your family dancing and singing, or was it just you?
Well, Dorry used to do, yeah, she used to do it too. But I don't think she was ever on. And she did elocution, which she was very good at. And there's this girl, she went to England, and she became very well known. Well, she used to practice, and that had the same teacher as Dorry did.
Okay.
So I can't think of her name now. I'm getting blanks, aren't I? And she married one of the famous actors anyway, an English actress. But Dorry was very good at that too. Yeah.
Our Sweet Mystery of Life.
Yes.
Where did the song come from?
Sweet Mystery of Life.
Ah,
Ah.
not our.
A-H.
A-H.
Mm.
Ah. Ah.
Sweet Mystery of Life.
So where does that come from?
Well, I can't remember. Some famous person was singing, brought it out and sang it. It was a very famous song even today, lots of people remember it. But all I can remember, there was a very high note.
So did you just do that the once, or was it?
No, then I did that on my own, but then I was on the ballet as well.
But did you just sing it on one occasion, or was it part of an ongoing?
No, I think it was. I think we had two or three, and I can remember Mum was in hospital at the time, and well, Pat came to us when I must have been. She's 11 years younger than me. She was 3, so I must have been 14. And then we had. Oh, that was I think when we were going around the theatres around that time. And Nell and Pat, Nell was her sister, she was 2 years older, and the teacher wanted some children in this performance. Like, there was me singing to these half dozen children. Got a big photo at home, it was given to me. And Nell and Pat had to just sit there with me and the others, and while I sang to them, and I was singing the Teddy Bear's Picnic to them. And that was on stage.
Now, while we're on that, you say Nell and Pat came to us. What do you mean by that?
Well, Nell and Pat's parents, they split up, and the father only lived a few doors away from where we lived in Herbert Place, and he wanted someone, to look after them. So Mum, as she used to always do, she would look after everyone, even though she should never have had any children, because she was sick before she was married even. And she just took them in, and but after a while, Nell was a little bit too much, so it was a shame to separate them, but Nell went down to Port Melbourne, and every Sunday their father used to pick them up and take them out, so they'd see each other every Sunday.
So who did Nell live with then?
Well, Nell, I don't know the name of the people that she lived with.
Just another family.
Yeah, but she's, today she lives down at Werribee.
That's right, yep.
Yeah, her son, our son, he played for Footscray. Stephen Power.
Stephen Power, that's right. Do you remember that now?
So,
doing well. Doing well. Nothing else? I'm loving this. This is great. Keep going.
When I get back on the old times,
Yeah, well, and the annoying thing is that you'll walk away
and say I should have said that.
But that's all right. We can do other stuff later.
Yeah.
But if you do think of other stuff, make a note of it somehow or other. So we'll go back to your father. When did your father die? How old were you then?
Well, my mother died first,
Okay.
and that was before Brian was born. She died in February of 1945. And then Dad died around about 10 years later.
Okay. And they're buried at Springvale?
Yes.
So you were married for the second time before they died? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the second marriage?
Yes. When we were in Chapel Street we lived in, Chapel Street in Windsor. And it was above Alexander's. It was Dorry and Jack. They'd moved from Northcote to this above Alexander's, but they had two, one a big one on the corner and then a smaller place next door. Well, they were living in the smaller place, and because Jack knew the Alexanders, he used to do work for them. He built, he was a builder and that. And so anyway, they just got that through them organising, and that we got this the corner one on corner Green Street and Chapel Street, and so we lived there. And then I married 4 years after Ray died. Sid Dineen.
So how did you meet Sid?
Oh, through the football. We used to go after the football matches, like in the evening, they'd have dances and bands and that there, and I used to go with my brother. In fact, I taught him to dance. We had the two-storey place, and we'd get up on the veranda out there, and I'd teach him, and I taught him to dance. And we used to go around to all the different places doing the ballroom dancing.
Okay.
Yeah. Had a lot of fun. And then over at the footy ground, some of the couple of chaps would say, you want to come home with me? I said, I'm sorry, I'm with someone. And one night someone says, yeah, you're with your brother.
So you married Pa when you were about 24?
Yes, okay. 24.
Where did you get married?
Well, we got married in High Street, or Windsor, I suppose. It's either Windsor or Paran. And that it's not there now, that church. They made it into something else. I don't know what it is, but it's just not there.
So is the building there, or it was all torn down?
They built. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but all I do is read in the paper that that was gone. But
so
it was a nice church.
When you got married, where did you live then?
Well, we lived with Sid's parents, because we'd only been married a week or so, and Sid got fired, and so. What
was he doing?
He was a printer, like I was a bookbinder, and he was in the printing trade, and so we were living in Murray Road, Preston, and we were renting that. It was just near Gilbert Road, and so then we went to, as I say, to Sid's mother's, and we were there for a while. That's where Lynn was. I had Lynn there.
So was that in Frankston Street? Is that right?
Yes, that was in Frankston Street.
Frankston Street.
Yeah, where she lived, yeah. So Lynn was born at the women's hospital. And then we moved. Sid got a job not that long after, so we really could have stayed, but we didn't know what was going to happen. So to get somewhere to live, we actually bought into a shop and dwelling. It was quite a nice, spacious dwelling and that. And so we lived there, and the shop naturally wasn't open, and Brian was born there, and then an old friend of Sid's and ours, we used to all go dancing and that before we were married, and we'd all sort of join in and that. There was about half a dozen couples of us. And he was in the army at the time. Well, he was stationed down up the back of St Kilda, not behind, not Punt Road. Anyway, behind, near Wesley College is there.
Okay.
He was stationed at one of those places there. And so anyway, Ken came and he says, well, he says, so it's something I want to talk about. How would you feel about opening a business here? So they both thought about it, and decided to open it. And of course, Ken, he wasn't in it he was stationed somewhere in Victoria anyway. And so mostly Sid's mum and I ran it, because Sid, he'd come home and he'd have to work till about 11 o'clock at night. And because he was sort of still in the army at first. So we worked long hours.
What were you running? What sort of business?
It was a mixed business.
Mixed business.
And then when they both got into it full time, when Ken got out the army and that, they had like the grocery and that. Well, they used to deliver all, And I can remember them. Sid was delivering this day in Spring Street, which was where the shop was, and he had his car parked half on the motor strip and that, and anyway, this car come along, and he was bending in getting grocery orders there, and this car come along, and he was showing whoever he had with him in the car what, the different places that had been built there. And he banged right into the back, into Sid's car, and knocked him from one side of Spring Street practically to the other, and then knocked him on the head. And so that's actually, I reckon either that or football was the cause of him being an epileptic. Many years later, it didn't affect him at all.
We missed a bit of your life.
Yes,
I realised there.
Yeah, I can remember my brother and I, and Mum, we used to, when we started going to footy, and I can still see us walking down along the Albert Road there, and we used to, and then and when the finals came along, we'd just go about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and no booking or anything like they do these days.
Yeah.
And we'd sit right on the boundary, see all the grand finals and everything like that. But Bobby Pratt, he was just to see him, people sort of don't realise, I think, the present day players, what he really was. He was really, really amazing. I've seen them all, I still reckon he was the best. But Laurie Nash, he used to reckon he was the best. Yeah, he's the best. He was too. He was very good because he was a cricketer as well.
Yeah.
He played for Victoria, with the state side. So, we had some really good times. And after the dance at the footy ground, there was this lady and her husband and daughter. They used to live around the corner from us when we were in Ferris Street, and they were opposite the gardens. And but at this particular time they'd moved further down nearer to Middle Park, and we used to go back to their place after and party on. And also Ronnie Clegg and his wife Billy, we used to go back to their place. They lived in Albert Street, and and then they had a little daughter, Peter, P-T-A, and we used to go there, and we had some, you know, really terrific times. Yeah, really beautiful. I mean, yeah, in those days it was really good.
When you left school though, obviously you went out to work.
Yes.
So what were you doing
Well,
work-wise?
my sister, she worked at Arbuckle Waddell. This was a posh printing place in Killip Street in the city. It's just a little street between Burke Street and Little Collins Street and Elizabeth and Queen. And Dorry was a numberer there, like you had to hand number in those days. And
What were they numbering?
Ledgers, yeah, big ledgers, you know that. So anyway, when she left, I got her job. So I was the numberer. Then I used to do all the ledgers and everything like that. But we had an ex-Lord Mayor, who was one of the main ones down in the office part, not up in the factory where we were above. And he was made a Sir Julian Smith, and he became a Lord Mayor later. He was a very nice man, and no, they were good times too. And of course I left there when Ray died, like when I got married to Ray, and then I went back later.
So were you expected to leave because you had got married?
No, I just left.
Yeah.
And then they just took me back, sort of not that long after, and I was there then until I got married.
Until you got married again.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said Pa was in the printing game also.
Yeah.
Before you got married, and then.
Yes.
So what was he doing, and then he got sacked? Before
yeah.
he got sacked, just after you got married?
Yeah, that's right. Well, he worked in a place, Hardware Street, and that was off Burke Street. It was practically nearly opposite McKillop Street. It was on one side and McKillop Street was on the other. So he worked there, and then he left, that's right, and then he went to the paper mills, and he worked over there, or he wasn't there for that long, well, 12 months I suppose. And Ken,
I was going to say, did Ken work there as well?
Ken worked there. He worked there for many years, but Sid, he went to the Herald office after, so he was there, you know, until he died.
That's always my recollection of Pa, especially when we used to come out and visit you at Crawley Street.
Yeah.
That you would be, the Pa would be up and down all night because he was shift working.
That's right, the two different shifts he used to work.
That's right, yeah.
And every second weekend he'd be one week he'd finish his day shift, and then the next he'd start his evening shift. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had a mixed business in
Reservoir.
Spring
Regent, it was Spring Street Regent it was called.
Right. Do you know whereabouts in Spring Street it was?
Well, it was between Gilbert Road and, now what's the main road in Reservoir? I should know it. It's up near the Reservoir station anyway.
Okay.
So we were sort of more or less halfway between Murray Road and this. I can't think of it.
That's all right. And so you worked in there as well, in the mixed business?
I worked, because Sid's mum and we had to do it in the daytime.
Because he was in the army during the Second World War?
Yeah. But he was stationed down St Kilda, St Kilda Road there.
And so he didn't go overseas
No.
Because of his epilepsy?
No.
Is that
No.
right?
No,
Oh, no, that
it
came
wasn't that.
afterwards.
It was because I think his legs
That's
and
right.
that, because he had his injured his legs, you know, playing football.
Football. Did
So
Ken
that
go
was
overseas?
why. No, he never went overseas. He got up Queensland, I think he was up that far. But no, he never went overseas either. But Sid's brother, no, it was, he was a pilot, you know, in the Air Force.
Oh, okay.
And because he was, I don't know whether he was shot down, and that was when we were living at Sid's parents' place, and they didn't find him for several days. I can't think where that was. One of the new places out of Australia.
Papua New Guinea or something like
Yeah,
that?
I think it was around that way. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was around there.
So he
Yeah.
died when he was shot
No,
there?
he didn't die.
Okay.
No, he's the only one of the three of them left. Because Henry went first.
Mhm.
He was the eldest, and then Sid, and then Ken. Now Ken, he's been living in Sydney for a minute. They've been living there about over 25 years, I think now.
Mhm.
He used to work at Myers.
So who flew the plane?
Ken.
Ken was doing that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm with it now.
He's about 6 weeks older than me, whereas Sid was 3 years older
Mhm.
than me.
So the mixed business, they used to deliver from there?
Ken and Sid, they both used to deliver. They'd take the car and put it in and
So you take
just go up and
phone
down.
orders? Is that
Oh
what we're
no,
doing?
I don't know. There wasn't any phone orders in those days. But now what was it? Oh, I can remember one time because tea and lots of different things were all that hard. You had to have coupons and things for. And anyway, and cigarettes were that hard to get. And but I remember Sid. And he would just, after he finished in the army, he'd go around to all these different places and get things for the shop, which
Mhm.
and he did that for a while, the things that were, he couldn't get. But I can remember them queuing up out our place, for bread. There's a whole lot of people queuing up for bread, because that was, but no, it was a pretty tough, really, the long hours,
Mm.
but it was good, yeah.
It's just interesting because obviously delivery of groceries and the like
Yeah.
stopped for a long time, and now
Yeah.
it's starting again.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, they charge a fortune
It's a
now.
good service.
We didn't charge anything, and naturally then.
So you didn't charge anything
No,
extra?
No.
It's just all part of the service?
Yeah. So when we left there, we moved across the road to Crawley Street, which was on the corner of Spring and Crawley Street.
So the shop was directly across the road?
Yeah, diagonally across.
Okay, I remember a milk bar being there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we owned that. Like we got a loan off it was the State Bank then, it's Commonwealth now. But that was, we owned that. And Ken and Sheila, after he got out, they didn't have a home or anything first, and we had a sort of a bungalow in there, and they sort of lived there. And then they moved down to Murray Road. They bought a house in Murray Road. Actually, it used to belong to Sid's auntie and uncles, who used to live in Crawley Street, the other end to where
Oh,
we
really?
were. Yeah,
Near
near
the railway line.
Mm.
So what year did you move to Crawley Street? That's a good question.
Well, we'd had enough of the shop and that, you know, so just saw this house there and we liked it. It had this big high fence, you know, off the, and fruit trees and all sorts of almond, all those walnut trees and everything. And fig trees, pear, peaches.
I do remember that
Yeah.
at the house.
Yeah.
A lemon tree.
So, yeah, lemon tree. That was, I was trying to think that's what it was,
It was
a lemon tree, yeah.
So what year do you think? It was after
Well,
Brian was born?
Yes, Brian, well, he would have been about 5.
Okay.
So it probably must have been about 50. Around about 1950, I would say.
Okay. So Mum was born while you were living in Frankston Street?
Yes, yes.
How long after you'd been married was Mum born?
11 months. 11 months, yeah.
And then what's there between Brian?
There's 2.5 years. Yeah, his is the 5th of April and your mum's the 24th of October.
Okay. The same as yours?
Yeah.
The same as Pat's?
Yeah. Lynn's was 1942.
Yeah.
We were married in 41 and Brian's was 45.
So it would have been hard running a mixed business
Yeah.
with a young baby hanging off you?
That's right. And, well, we used to have a little door off the lounge room and there was a couple of steps down into the shop. And Brian used to get there and stand at that door, you know. And occasionally, if he did get in, he'd go straight to the lolly part, you know. And Lynn, she, Ken still talks to her to this day. Ken would sit down and Lynn would come along and she'd comb his hair. She used to comb Ken's hair. He still talks about it.
So what are your early memories of being a parent?
Well, oh, well, I don't know, that was wonderful. And they were both terrific kids, really. And they used to like we always had animals, you know, and had this little dog and I've got photos of them there when we were in Crawley Street and that. And then...
What was the dog's name?
Oh, Peg. Lynn might be able to remember.
Patch?
She probably wouldn't. Yeah, we did have Patch.
You did have Patch, yeah.
We did have Patch, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you remember better than me.
I don't know why that came to me, but it did.
It was too. Yeah.
So you were at Crawley Street for what, a few years?
Yeah, we were there until 73. I remember Lynn going on our first holiday and with one of her girlfriends, and she went, like we used to take them, we used to go down to Port Arlington and in the caravan park, and the kids loved it too because we were right on the beach, you know, and near the pier, where the pier started, and we used to, you know, go for drives and little picnics on a Sunday. And I can remember, oh, this is a bit later, but I'm trying to think of his name now. He was the president of the VFL, and he was the one that got the Waverley ground, organised that, you know. And he was a friend of actually Sid's brothers first, and of course Sid knew him. And he was going to put Sid in through the Masonic Lodge. And so we were driving up to his place, the kids in the back seat and me. Now where was that? At past Greensborough, further out than that. And something about me learning to drive, never driven a car, you know. So anyhow, got behind the wheel and Sid was telling me this and that, and and the kids at the back. So I said, that's it, I'm not driving anymore. But we had some lovely little times, picnics. We'd go out to Warrandyte and also Whittlesea. That's right, we used to go to Whittlesea there and have our picnics there. And, it was some great fun.
So where did you send your kids to school?
Well, they went to the Preston School. That was in Murray Road. I think they called it West Preston. It was between Murray Road and Gilbert Road. And that was just a straight of several blocks down from where we lived in Spring Street. They just have to walk straight down Spring Street and turn right into Murray Road. And then went to this school. It was behind the main street in Preston, High Street, right behind the town, near the town hall. Oh, there was a cinema, that's right, opposite the town hall. And it was behind that. I can't think of the name of the school.
So it's a secondary school?
Yes, yeah. And then Brian, he went to the technical school down in, what you call it, Gilbert Road, for continuation. No, it wasn't Gilbert Road. On the main street anyway, that takes you down to Fitzroy. So he went there. So that was his two schools.
How were they at school?
Yeah, and Brian, he was pretty brainy actually, and Lynn always did all right. Yeah, and then Lynn used to work part time at Coles, like Saturday morning, and my sister-in-law, Mel's wife, Mad, she was the forelady at Coles in High Street, and she got me the job. I had one I used to work from 10 to 4 Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning, because there was no afternoon Saturdays, and 12 o'clock was finished. Mm. So Lynn used to do that.
How old would you have been then?
I suppose she would have been 13 or 14. Yeah. So that was her, as I say, even in those days they did like a lot of them do now, go to school and then work sort of after.
So what about Brian? Would he do it part-time?
I'm just trying to think. I think he was too busy doing his football and that. I just can't think, to be quite honest. If he did anything, I just can't think.
So, Pa obviously played football?
Yeah, he played for Preston first, and he got quite a few caps when he was playing for Preston. And then
in the VFA?
Yeah, that was the VFA. And then then he went to South Melbourne. But what they did, he was pretty good and cricketer, he played for Preston too. And he was an excellent cricketer, cricket cups and all that he'd won. And South wanted him, and they traded 3 of their players for him to Preston. And they had a night match at the South Melbourne football ground.
At the Lakeside Oval?
Yeah, that's right. So, and then around a bit later was the start of the night games, The South were always pretty prominent in that. They won quite a lot of few years. could win.
Do you remember seeing Pa play when you used to go to the football when you were younger?
Oh yes, because I started going when I was 15, and that was the year they got their last premiership, 1933, and Sid was there from 1935 to 37, 3 years, but he was injured, the last couple of years. He got injured, and in those days, now in 1935, they were trying to promote Australian football, not just Victoria, Australian. So they got Collingwood team and South Melbourne team, and they left on a ship from Port Melbourne, and I can remember going down and seeing them off with a couple of girlfriends, and they went to Sydney and they played in Sydney, and then they went up to Brisbane, played up there, and Sid had this itinerary, like a cardboard, and it had all the itinerary of where they were playing, and all the names of everyone, even the committee, and Archie Croft. There was Croft Stores. Well, he was one of the members of the board, and anyway, it took a long while, didn't it, for them to get to where they are now.
We jump back to kids. What are we doing getting records?
I usually get your chocolates. Well, I didn't get
That'll be
chocolates.
alright for the toilet.
There's no record players anymore,
Isn't there? Oh, there is, because mine still works.
so we have to come in and play.
Yeah, yeah. I was playing my
You have to read this.
what's their name? The one they gave me that record.
From Santa.
Yeah, that can go there.
Shane, what was that record you gave me last year, the year before? Thank you. They bought it, yeah, for $1.
Oh, that's right.
I should go and put it on. Dr. Hook. Anyone want to hear Dr. Hook?
No.
Dr. Hook?
I know what that one is without even opening
Oh, damn, is that thing on?
Shane, a very magic box.
Better start your money
Wow, that looks like
collecting
that.
for the moment.
It does, yeah.
I want it back on Thursday, please.
What's Thursday?
Juggler.
They're good, aren't they, those?
You going on your own?
No.
You might not be going
That's what one we got, Nat.
We're organising on
You
Friday.
see what he got? Just show Nat what you got.
That's good. It's
Thank
just
you,
like,
Nana.
You know, you talk about the Australian Shepherd.
Guess what we got?
Was there one on there?
No,
Collies.
but I got them an Australian cattle dog one, and they had German Shepherd calendar. And the guy said there's actually an Australian Shepherd.
Ah.
So I went back when they came in and I thought, well, that still doesn't look like Tess.
No.
So I didn't get it, but I got the border collie for them and the cattle. No.
Do they have a dingo one? She's a dingo.
Yeah, no.
it's for the two of you, not Kristen's got his.
Yes, we've got the other one. Don't worry.
You're going to go broke one of these.
Yeah, but also the one where the
Just
dog's
a little
creeping under the
something
sheet.
for you.
Vouchers as well.
Have a drink or something over Christmas.
I would get you vouchers as well.
I'll spend it for you if you want.
No, we're going to buy some Nick Thomas crap.
Thanks, Mum. You shouldn't have.
She's got a new album coming out in the new year.
Yeah, don't go blind.
Oh, yeah.
Look at my box.
Awful.
Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, they're lovely.
Did I find the book?
Oh, the whole catalogue.
Mum,
Take me hours to go.
Oh, wow.
leather stretch. Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Depends how much. You like them?
They're nice.
My feet are
Yeah,
thin.
all right.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Your feet are wide.
Oh, well, I gave up on the...
Yeah, let's
I knew you wouldn't want German Shepherd, and then the Australian Shepherd didn't look like this either.
One of the ladies that goes to
That's a Yachty Uni calendar.
culture
Yeah.
centre.
Or the Yachty Uni Foundation.
It's under Lindsay. No, she does every time.
Thank you for even.
That has been similar to that.
Gave
That Sharon, isn't that blind lady?
Yeah, what about it?
Those shoes.
No, she's got special made shoes. No, nothing like that. No, that's great.
Oh God, it's heavy.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, what a free! Olivia, the last time. Christmas class. Oh, we'll not go and play that one.
Let's go.
Thank you very much.
That's for you.
They're yours.
Oh, that looks like a good one.
Thank you everyone again.
Got to play that.
You buy these as well.
30 for JB and 30 for Sandy.
Cool, you can buy me some CDs as well.
They're not money.
I'll put them in the box. All the vouchers and cards and things go in the box. But I'll
So
say,
now open the packaging.
Lovely.
what did you get?
I got Ben Elton
Very nice.
and Tim Winton, but in hardcover.
Look, you haven't got it yet.
I could have got
Hey?
that.
Don't you get the price on it?
Got to be better.
Thank you very much. I do believe.
And it was cheaper than that anyway.
Because that's what we're going to do with the ones we
Emergency.
Because she got it for, I
When we went
think
down
she said she got it for about $20.
Yeah, right.
They're an emergency blanket.
An emergency blanket.
Oh, it's red. Red and white.
Oh, how did we know?
We rang Fee beforehand.
What's that?
Get that bloody book out, will you? Before she lost it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Well, Elmo's red, so
Just that it's
that was
only
only practical.
It's just stupid. No.
Alright,
I
time
wanted
for
to
other
put it in a
people,
box,
yeah.
shame, wouldn't it? He said, no, he'll be all excited when I get you done
Oh,
my
you
blanket.
printed those out.
Yeah.
That's just for in your pack, you know, when you're
Yeah.
hiking, you just never
I've seen
know.
them before.
And that was just good.
I think we got that on
I don't know
album.
how big it is, I don't know. What's that?
The U2 one there.
What's the other one?
30 by 202.
And injuries.
Pretty big.
Oh, really?
I don't think they ever had that on album. Once you get it before.
One of the guys at work had
You've been making things.
Decadence in excess one. I said, oh, my brother had that, but he lost it or was stolen from him or something or other.
Oh,
CD.
No, only on tape.
well, it doesn't say who it's for.
Decadence.
Decadence. Had all the like the extended mixes from Swing.
Haven't you handed that out yet?
He just wants
In record? That's for free, isn't it?
No, you had it. Didn't you have it? You only had it on tape, didn't you?
I've got it on record.
Decadence. On record. eh?
I've got files and all that on still.
Yeah.
All that sort of shit. It needs to be set up right now.
We've got our first Christmas
It's an
decoration.
adjustable one.
Beautiful.
So the handle, the things down the bottom there, with the catches, can be set up to how you want to sit, whether you want to lay back and sit up.
Oh, yeah.
No, no.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Oh, is that for me? Oh,
Oh, and this is for
You
me.
and John.
Oh, thank you
isn't
very
that lovely?
much. That's beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
The card doesn't stay on.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Tristan. You've been busy working again, have you?
Jamaica.
Yeah, painted them.
Terrific.
Yeah, we didn't do the paper mache.
Thank you very much.
Is that Bunnings again?
No, Lynn
Lincraft. Ah, isn't that clever?
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Nothing, it's just sending you voucher.
Thanks, Tim and John. Thank
I
you very
might,
much.
I might let you use it
Oh, what's it?
Ah, plug and
Is that the Star Wars video?
for the car.
Oh, yeah.
My calendar.
Oh, well, you'll be in it more than for the car. You can't use it for the truck.
It's 12 volts.
Oh,
Oh, really? Oh,
He doesn't have a cigarette lighter.
no, the,
24 volt truck. I'll put that in and blow it up.
it's all right. We'll use it in the car.
It'll be alright in the car.
Oh, calendar photo.
That's after breaking.
Oh, you should have done that.
Oh, but you needed some new ones. Did you
Thank
open
you.
it?
Yes, lovely.
I thought they were spicy. I put the ones I had.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, that's
at the end of the year, this goes in the toilet.
Thank you, John.
Eat.
Chop them up and put them in the
I
toilet.
broke,
Like we did the other
I
one.
broke two of Mum's
Margaret one at work. It's only 25 bucks.
Have you? I haven't got one there anymore. There might be, well, we do can be one.
They gave me a 12 volt in-car charger for the phone. As soon as I plugged it in. I'm going to get to that. 24 volt, 12.
We saw something like that today when we were out, but it has this high canopy that comes up over the top as well now.
One of those seats.
Yeah, well, not quite like
I saw one
that.
of those.
It's got the drink thing in the side, yeah, and then that.
Oh, you'd never get up.
No.
You'd be in there for 2 weeks.
Oh, lovely.
Michael Clough, Natalie.
Oh, lovely.
If Elmo doesn't fit,
Oh,
I've still
they're
got the
terrific.
receipt and we can exchange
And
it.
Frank Sinatra.
I'm sure
Oh,
they'll
they're
fit there.
terrific.
They're
Thank you
gorgeous.
very much.
They're cute, aren't they?
No worries, then.
They're lovely. You know, I often wonder about Perry's Homo and
I'm getting some Elmo
he
pyjamas
used
for
to
Christmas.
be
Are
a
you?
big
Oh,
They're different to me.
I'm getting some juggling books.
Mark
Juggling balls.
I thought you were getting toy. Oh no, he's getting jelly.
I already bought them. I bought them.
And you're going to buy poi on Thursday, eh?
$2. Buy some.
Oh, it's just that if he's going
Aren't
to
they
dirty and
$90?
That's a glow point.
Oh, they should
$40 weighs a soft.
I think you should get the glow ones.
Have to go out wide.
Yeah, so
If
do
you
I.
wear them in the water, like
But I
just
want
wear them
both.
waving around.
You can't have both.
No, not
You
the
can.
cold water.
Thank you, Tristan.
You can use the glow ones during the day.
Yeah, but
I
they're
was
not
trying
so
to
low
be.
because if you wet
Yeah,
yourself,
water-
it
water
really
stretches.
hurt. The soft
Yeah,
spots
like
really
that.
tear, but not as much.
Like if there's actually not enough leather, it's not going to stretch.